Earlier this month, Meems and I released cinematic ambient vocal phrases, and it's for multiple formats, and one of those formats happens to be the Iridium from Waldorf. So this video is going to be a quick instruction on how to import and export those patches, because while it's straightforward, it can be confusing, and the interface on the Iridium also can be confusing on how to actually manage some of this stuff. So let's get right to it. First off, here's a quick little sampling of the granular patches. Each key is essentially a sample phrase, and then it gets processed in a granular fashion with the Iridium, and it creates a really cool ambient texturized type of experience from the synth that I think is very unique with the Iridium. So it's really cool. However, it is like 250 megs of patches, or samples, I should say. And the Iridium only has 2 gig of flash memory. That being said, though, I really like the results. So the import process. Here is the tool that we're going to use. This is a 32 gig flash drive that I bought for like maybe 10 bucks off of Amazon. I'll drop a link below. It is USB 3, and I am using the USB port on this because the SD card, or the micro SD card, I'm assuming is a bit slower for the processing on the Iridium. Since this is 250 megs of samples, I think it's better to use a USB drive, personally. And like I said, this is USB 3.0, so this is the tool of choice. I'm going to plug this in the computer. All right, as you can see, I have the thumb drive. That's what I called it. And that is the 32 gig drive. It's completely empty. And I believe it's formatted for MS-DOS. It's literally just how it came from the mail. So I didn't format it or anything like that. I just plugged it right into the computer. And then over here, Cinematic Ambient Vocal Phrases, this is the actual download that you get from our website. And we have the Iridium Quantum Patches right there. So literally all you have to do is just drag this folder right into the thumb drive and let it copy. And there we have it. Iridium Quantum Patches have been copied. If you look inside the folder, you can see it's a bunch of QPAT files, and there's 16 total. Goes from 6000 to 6015. And inside it is the samples directory. So this is very important. It goes, the structure of the samples is supposed to be what's reflected on the internal flash drive. And it's under Tefty, then ambient vocal phrases, vowels, and all that stuff. So that is very important, but you don't need to worry about that because the Iridium should take care of that all in the behind the scenes. Now that we have the thumb drive, we're going to eject it. So I currently have the key step right here plugged into the controller port of the USB, and it doubles as a drive port and all that. So what I'm gonna do is unplug the key step, like so. Then plug in the drive, and we should be good to go. Now, I currently have all the patches and samples inside the Iridium already, so I'm going to go and delete those right now. So in order to do that on the Iridium, I'm currently on a particle oscillator right here, oscillator 1, and then the particle version, and I'm going to go to actions right here. Then I'm going to go to add, just to get into the sample management menu. There's other ways to get into this, but this is just the fast way of doing it. Now this is the main drive. So if I click on this, I have USB drive, and it shows the quantum patches that I just copied over to the thumb drive. I'm gonna click on that again. SD card, there's nothing in there because I don't have an SD card plugged in. I'm gonna click on it again, and now I'm back to the samples drive, which is the internal memory. So I'm gonna go into samples right here, and I'm gonna scroll all the way down. And I should, yeah, so I have Tefty and Tefty Old right there because I tested this earlier. So I'm going to click on Tefty, and then I'm going to hit the delete button right here to get rid of my current samples. Yes, delete, please. There. This machine isn't super fast, so when you're dealing with larger sample sets, it can hang up, and you might have to take a little bit of time to wait. So something to keep in mind. I'm also going to get rid of Tefty Old on here just to, yeah. Okay, so all the samples are gone. We still have the presets. So if I hit load on here and I try to load, say, what was it, 6,000? It's going to say there's no samples. Say, where's the samples, man? There we go, which is what we want. Now I'm also going to get rid of these patches as well. So we're going to hit delete, And then I want to delete 6,000, return to 6,015, return, delete. Do I want to do this? Yes, delete. Now I'm going to scroll down to author, look for Tefty in here, because I do have a few other things here. And I also load these to 8,000. I'm going to delete the 8,000 as well. All of the patches that you get from the sample pack are now completely deleted off this Iridium. Now let's officially load them in. So we're in the load patch screen already. The actions is where we make this happen. So you press the actions button right here and you go to import. Now it's automatically on the USB drive. If we select it again, it goes SD card, USB drive. So again, there's nothing on the SD card. USB drive. Now, here's what is very important. You only want to select the folder, because if you select individual patches, then you have to do them one at a time, and that's annoying. So what I'm going to do is just select this, because we imported everything from that folder, and then all of the patches are listed right here. And all you have to do is hit import while the folder is selected. Don't select any of these patches, only select the folder. So I hit import, and then it's going to say, where do you want to save them? This is something you need to make sure you pick out before you do this. I already know that like 6,000 up is available. Actually, 3,000 up is available. So I'm just going to randomly pick one of those. So I'm just going to say 6,000. So I'll say 6,000, return. You can do the overwrite existing slots if you want, but if you want to be safe to make sure you don't delete any patches that might be in your Iridium, then don't do that. Just try to make sure that you send them to a place where there is empty space on there. So I'm going to hit start, and now it is importing the patches. Easy peasy. Now this will take a moment because it's, again, 250 megs, and each one of these is going to take a bit to load. So we're looking at like maybe 5 minutes, maybe less, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, something like that. So while this is loading, I'm going to take a moment to plug our sample pack. Again, it's at teftyandmeems.com. So if you want to check it out, go there. And also, if you plan on picking up any gear, if you find this video useful and you're planning on picking up some gear, we use Zounds and we're affiliates with Zounds. So that's our go-to choice right there. And if you use our links to pick up gear from there, then it helps out the channel. And there you go. We have it. We have all of our patches loaded up right here. And they are accessible. If we go granular. Very cool. That's how you do it. Now, if you want to export patches, it is also extremely easy. So same thing, I'm in the load screen right here, by pressing the load button, then you're in the load screen. What you want to do is make sure you know which patch you want to export, or patches. So let's export this O granular right here. Same thing, the actions button. You click on actions and then you go export. Export patches. So now you need to choose a destination. What I like to do is make a new folder in the root directory of the drive. So once again, I'm in the USB drive right here, and I'm going to hit, there's nothing selected right here. I'm going to hit new directory, and I'm just going to call it new directory for now. And it's selected because it's white right there. And then you can hit export. So you hit export. It's then going to ask you which ones you want to export. And it says from 0 to 6,013. Obviously, we only want 6,013. So we're going to say 6,013 right here. And you definitely want to say with samples. If you say patches only, it's only going to write the patch, and it's not going to reference any samples. Unless, of course, you're not using any samples, then don't export samples. But if your patch is specifically using samples and custom samples, then you definitely need to put these samples with it. So with samples, and now it's exporting. One patch exported to new directory export -001 with 0 errors. That is good to hear. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug the thumb drive, our trusty thumb drive with the goods, and plug it in the computer. And here we have it, new directory, export -001. We have our granular patch, and then the samples that are associated with it. And easy peasy, right? So now you know how to import and export on your Iridium, and I'm assuming it's the same on the Quantum as well. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you found it useful. If you did, a like, sub, whatever, comment below would also help with the algorithm. And if you are liking what you're hearing from these patches, consider checking them out at teftymemes.com.